Hello, everybody. Hello, YouTube. So, I'm 44 years old now, and that's relevant for this video for reasons that we shall see. I hope I don't look 44 years old. I think I look younger, but so maybe my real age is like 36 or something. Anyway, I feel better when people think I'm younger for some reason. But anyway, let's get into the video. Uh, I've been using the internet since about 19, well, not the internet exactly, but I've been online since 1991. And I guess you could say I actually used the internet in 1993. My mother would sometimes let me use her university account from dial up, and I used Telnet and Gopher. And I thought it was really cool that you could do a Gopher search from some university. I remember going to University of Pisa on a Veronica search in 1993. And I wrote an email to some kid at the Ralph Bunche School. And this was all text mode. There were no graphics back then. Okay? And then by the mid 90s, I was, online with America Online, MSN, and Prodigy had become, it went on the internet and things like that. And so I've been an internet. I wasn't born with the internet, but I've seen almost every stage of the internet. I used Usenet. There's a message from me in Alt Dreams from like 1993 or 4 or maybe 95. I can't remember. But anyway, it was way back then. And so what I want to tell you about is I do believe that the internet is now dead. And I want to tell you why I believe so officially. And I want to use a YouTube video to show you some of the things that you could expect to find on YouTube. Just find by exploring and discovering on YouTube fairly easily if you wanted to. And you can't do this anymore. And I'm very discouraged that my channel is not getting views. And I think that's both my fault and YouTube's fault in a way, and just the fact that things have changed. So it's my fault in that I'm disappointed for that. I shouldn't be so disappointed when my channel doesn't get views, but at the same time, there are also way too many competing channels, and YouTube is now way too commercialized for most small scale creators to enjoy it. So it's kind of both ways. Our expectations are too high, and they really don't support the small creator. So I want to show you something that I found in 2006. I found this on YouTube, and back then it was fairly easy to find. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This guy, Kundalini Brat. It was pretty easy to find weird channels like this. And this guy has, I don't know this guy, but I've looked him up again and again every now and then over the years, just because I thought his channel was so obscure, and that's what I liked about it. And so, and I knew that this was just weirdness, but you could find stuff like that fairly easily on YouTube back then, unlike today. Let me play a little bit of this video for you.
Hi, happy full moon. So I'm not entirely sure, in case everybody is aware or not of what I'm doing at all.
See, listen, this is the guy. That's how the guy ran his channel. It was like he didn't care, he didn't care about views or anything, obviously. He felt like he was on some local access cable channel or something, like Wayne and Garth. This guy has gotten 965 views in 18 years. I'm sure many of those are my views as I've looked up this video again now and then. But the guy didn't care. He was just doing his thing on his channel. And almost nobody does that now. We all want views. We all expect views. There's almost no plausible deniability left in YouTube that this is just your hobby and you're just doing it for fun. And you don't care if you get views. And you're posting to this new thing called YouTube.com from your video camera. Back then, this guy probably he actually was not using a phone. I know that for a fact. Back then, if you got a video camera that would save a video file, which I had one of those in 2006. You could record videos, and it was fairly advanced new technology, and it would have been exciting in itself to be able to share at all on YouTube. And back then, you didn't really care about your subs and views. Monetization, I'm not sure people really thought about it yet. But as you can see on the right-hand side of my screen, let me zoom in here. This guy is also in a fairly obscure category that I looked up, but you can see that he has 393,000 views in 2 months. And that's just the way YouTube has changed over the years. Now, I'm sure if you brought this guy into the year 2025, 18 years later, and you made him compete alongside of this guy with 393 views and a monetized channel and everything like that, he might not be acting so casually the way he is here. I think the internet has definitely changed. YouTube content promotion has definitely changed to the point where you don't see a whole lot of guys like this because the whole game has changed. Number one, he knows he's not very discoverable, and he would know that today, and it would probably bother him. Like it bothers me. My last video got 8 impressions from the entire YouTube, which means YouTube only tried 8 times to show my thumbnail to anybody. In other words, even though the people who encourage you to make a YouTube channel and keep going are always telling you that YouTube does try to get people to watch your video, it doesn't make any sense for you to just take up server space for a video that's just sitting there. But let me tell you, I'm pretty sure that with 8 impressions total for the whole video, and then YouTube just stops, that means YouTube actually does find it more useful to their business model to just stop pushing your video and let it sit there and rot on their servers. They would rather do that than to either really try and push your video amongst so many other successful channels that have proven themselves with thousands of views already. It would rather do that. It would rather let your videos sit and rot than to be shown alongside and kind of ride the coattails of other successful channels. It does not want you to ride the coattails alongside successful channels, and it also does not want to just kick you off the channel or stop you from uploading. So it will let you upload because it would hurt its brand if it didn't let you upload. But for a long time, YouTube will not try. Don't believe this advice that YouTube wants people to view your video. They give up. Yeah, they wish that people would, but they give up trying very early. They don't care. It may have even been planned because my conversion rate was pretty high. Maybe the video is just too long or something. I lose track of time. It's so easy. I don't know. See, that's the thing. When you're a new creator, you don't know and you don't have enough to go on. But what I'm saying is this guy back here, Back in the day, he didn't care. He didn't care. He's got 965 views in 18 years, but the guy did not care back then. You didn't care. YouTube was just fun and new, and you had a video camera, and that was just you had plausible deniability that YouTube was your hobby, and you just didn't care. Nowadays, you do not have plausible deniability that YouTube is your hobby. You have to want views. Everybody knows there's no point on just most of the time. Now, there could be some use cases, but in general, there could be some use cases for the unlisted videos and things like that. But in general, if you're going to be on YouTube, you want views, and this is definitely not your hobby. And it's going to hurt you. You're going to be sore if you don't get views. I've experienced it. But I have to remind myself that YouTube has changed. The whole internet has changed. Let me just tell you another story. Starting websites now. See, I didn't do it back in the earlier days. I didn't start a website, but I'm pretty sure that people clicked on links to websites a lot more than they do now. Now, this is going to sound weird, but I don't have a smartphone addiction. I can generally say I don't use smartphones. I just don't. Sometimes I'll borrow my wife's smartphone for a convenience now and then, but generally speaking, I do not just go around living my life with a smartphone in my pocket. I have never used a smartphone dating app. I've used websites. That's actually how I found my wife, but I used dating websites from like 10 years ago. Or yeah, it must be between me and her, that must have been like 8 years ago. I've used websites, but I've never been the kind of guy who had this experience of having a singles bar in his pocket, as people have described it. I haven't used dating apps like that, and I still access to other people who generally were not using dating apps like that, like my wife. I don't think I would have done very well on the dating apps that are just speed dating. And I think the smartphone has destroyed the internet more than anything because people are very fidgety with their thumbs and they expect instant gratification. They can't watch anything very long because their thumbs will get tired. Their thumbs have to be scrolling to the next thing. I don't watch short form content. I just, as a rule, I don't watch it. You can say I don't watch short form content. Every once in a while, because YouTube pushes it on you, I'll click one. But generally, I just find it weird. I don't understand why you would watch something that short in duration. What's the purpose of that? If you're gonna watch anything, I mean, we have all this bandwidth. If you're gonna be interested in something, why not watch for at least 10 to 15 minutes? I'll try to wrap this up in a minute, but what I'm trying to tell you people is that the internet is dead. Smartphones and fidgety thumbs killed it. Why aren't we able to discover more obscure things, date slowly, if we're going to use the internet at all for dating? In my case, international dating, it made sense. But in most cases, why don't we just meet in person? Or at the very least use slow, clunky websites, not fidgety thumbs to swipe. You don't swipe, people. That's rude. There's so much I just don't understand. That's why I had to lead the video telling you I'm 44 years old, and I believe despite having used the internet, or maybe because of having used the internet since the days of text, and even used Usenet news groups on dial-up and things like that, I can tell you that I don't understand a lot of these things that people are using it for. And YouTube I long for the old days of YouTube when there was no shame in being an obscure channel. I in fact wish I could do that. But people won't find you anymore. Back then you could be obscure and found by curious people. But nowadays YouTube doesn't even try you if you're too obscure because it just has so many channels that get thousands of views that YouTube will not push you anymore. So the point to point nature of the internet is gone. Or the startup feel, where you could just start a website and at least a few people, at least some people in your community, if you told them about it, would probably sign up. Nowadays, there's no exploration. There's no internet exploration. Google is a Potemkin village. Dead internet theory is dead on. And I'm gonna try to not let it frustrate me and just this is my day 2, by the way, of a 100-day YouTube experiment where I just keep posting for 100 days and just see what YouTube does, because I'm pretty sure that YouTube wants you to get so discouraged that you just quit. They really don't want the new person to keep trying. All right, that's it for now. Hope to see you here next time.